when I run HF, but I haven't done it for quite some time. But you know, if you talked into Jacksonville, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, back when the band was in a little bit, the bands were in a little bit better condition, I might have talked to you. There's definitely a possibility. kc4ipx, Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's this guy that does remote a lot, Richard. There's a guy that I do regularly talk to from Jacksonville. He's always remoting from there. I mean, I usually, he's a guy who like always talks about remoting. You know the guy I'm talking about?
No, I don't offhand, but I do recall an experience on HF. It was here in Jacksonville, of course, and it was some semi-exotic island down south. There was a guy poolside, and he had quite the setup, evidently, up there in Ohio. And he was talking to me poolside with, I guess it was an Android device, and he even had that set up, Steve, to where he could disconnect it if there was lightning nearby remotely. And in any event, he sounded fantastic, and it was kind of interesting. I think the only HF communication I had, other than that might top that one, was there was a guy that was a corporate pilot. He was actually, it was a corporate pilot for a large company. And he was up at like 30,000 feet, and I was talking to him. He had, I guess he had his HF reg antenna up through the tail of the airplane, and that was kind of neat talking to him as he was traveling across the country.
Yep, yeah. It's unbelievable what you can do. Well, nowadays, you can remote HF stations. There's remotehams.com if you're interested. You can remotely, provided they let you do it. If you make friends with a few people, which I have done, you can actually remote control other people's equipment, but you have to upload your license. Maybe, I don't know if that's something that interests you, but I've talked to a couple of guys on here who've done it. I've talked to a few guys who've done it.
Yeah, it might be fun. Of course, there's nothing like operating your own equipment, though. That's kind of like what I like to do. But I'm curious what I always like to use the term device when I'm talking on through the internet. I always like to call it a device, but I'm just operating probably the least expensive network radio you can operate. It's called an A17, but in any event, that's what I'm operating here. And I'm wondering, Steve, if you're operating an Android device or what you're using to get in. I also have Peanut downloaded on my laptop, and I'm thinking about going down to Best Buy today and getting, there's a little microphone you can get. It's called a Samsung Go. Thinking about getting that little USB microphone, see how it sounds on that laptop here for Peanut. But in any event, just wondering what kind of device you're operating, if it's an Android phone or iPhone or whatever. Go ahead.
Well, at the moment, I'm on an Android tablet. I have it on my Android phone too, but I got an Android tablet at the moment. One thing I love about Android, they're not as expensive as you can get an Android tablet for $150, but they can do so much more. You can't do this on Apple. But but everybody's paying such crazy prices for Apple, and they can't even do as much. That's what I don't understand. Is I don't know why everybody wants to. Everybody wants to do Apple so much. I personally don't think they're as great as everybody thinks they are. But you know, they're way more. It's way more expensive to buy Apple products than it is Android and Microsoft.
Oh, and I agree too. I'm an Android man. I'm not an Apple man. But my daughter, she likes the younger set. You know, they like the Androids, and she's in college now. And ever since she was in high school, I'm divorced, and the ex-wife, she's not the most, I don't know, how should you say it, financially stable individual. So, of course, old dad's supplying all those extras. So I usually end up, I guess she's on her second iPhone now, and I just finance it through my phone bill is basically the way I do it. And well, she appreciates it. I don't know what she'd do without. You know how kids are these days. That's their lifeline. You know. What's funny, Steve? I've got an Android phone that's probably, I got a nice case for it, and it's probably at least 4 years old now. Looks like brand new, works just fine. But of course, I don't use it the way she does. I use it to talk on the phone, and I've got an Android tablet I use to actually do surfing. That I also got through my carrier. So my phone tends to last a lot longer than hers, but you know how they are. They use them all the time. They're kind of rough on them. But yeah, you can just get you an Android tablet for next to nothing, and the audio will sound fantastic, just like yours does right now.
Yeah, QSL. Yeah. My daughter, yeah, she's into the Apple stuff too. But she also likes Android too. I mean, yeah. Well, my daughter, I'm kind of lucky. My daughter's 26 nearly, and got herself a good job. So, thankfully, so I'm just happy she has herself a good job. But we still help her out a bit. But yeah. I know what you mean. It's not easy, but look, eventually they get good jobs, our kids, hopefully.
She's had it. In fact, she made the dean's list last semester in college. So, yep, and she's pretty smart. I fully expect that. And if I think back upon it, I had an awful lot of help from my parents, too, when I was younger, and I'm just grateful that I've got a good job myself and I can do that for her. In fact, got her a pretty nice car when she was in high school, and so far, knock on some wood here. Let me find some wood. Knock on wood, it's still in good shape. She's still driving it. kc4ipx, Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I know one thing that's important. You have a responsible. Your kid is responsible. Sometimes as long as they don't drink and drive and or get high and drive, then as long as they're good that way, that's important. There. Yeah. No problem there. Yep. Anyways, there, my friend, I'm going to back it on out of here. Give some others a chance to get in there. I've got to go and get something to eat, and got a whole bunch of things I got to do. I got to visit my mother today, and things I got to do. So, my mother lives downtown, and I live in the north end of the city. So, got to be on the road. But hey, you never know. I might pop in here. While I'm out and about. One thing that's great about this Peanut app, you take it wherever you go. I can be anywhere and talking all over the world. So I'll listen for your final. Great to work your station there in Jacksonville, Florida. I am anxious to hear a current weather report. Probably nice and warm, but here it's cloudy and about 32 degrees, but I'm anxious to hear what type of weather you got. And then I got to get going. But it was good talking to you, and hopefully I'll run into you again.